Hi, in this week's vlog I'm going to answer some questions that keep popping up, like whereabouts I live in Thailand, how much it costs. I'll also be showing you the village square and some of the sights around the village. Before I do that, I'd like to say a big thank you to Ray of Cowboy in Thailand. I've had quite a few new subscribers and views because of you. So thanks a lot for that. Anybody that hasn't seen his channel, he doesn't actually vlog in Thailand, he vlogs about vloggers in Thailand, so it's well worth a look. I shall leave his link down below in the description box, so thanks a lot. So let's get started. So, whereabouts do I live in Thailand? Well, I live in Thailand in a province called Kanchanaburi, which is famous for the bridge over the River Kwai. And inside that province there's a district called Sayok, which is also famous for the Death Railway, waterfalls and national parks. And inside that there's 8 sub-districts, and one of them's called Lum Sum. And yes, inside Lum Sum there are 11 villages, which Wang Pho, where I live, is one of them. In total there's 10,000 people in the villages. In Wang Pho there must be about 800 people that actually live inside the village. Where we live in Wang Pho, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathroom house. If you do decide to move to Thailand and move out into the country, into a little village, 2 tips. One is never let your grass grow too long, because it's hard to see the snakes. And 2 is to get yourself a dog, because that's an early warning system for snakes and scorpions. We get about at least 2 snakes and 1 scorpion each month. The snakes are about 1 foot long to 6 foot long, and this is what happens when the dog sees a snake or a scorpion. As you can see, the dogs are playing with a snake. We get about a snake about once a week. Before anybody says anything, the dogs weren't hurt in making this video. I can't say the same about the snakes and the scorpions, but the dogs are okay. Right, and as we walk outside the front of our house, outside the front gate, I call this my front garden. Yeah, you're actually inside a temple, and just the other side of the buildings, over the back there, you've got the Death Railway, and the other side of it, where the statue of a Buddha is the River Kwai. Another question was why move to a small village rather than somewhere like Bangkok or Pattaya, Phuket. Well, being retired, we wanted somewhere with a slower pace of life, nice and quiet, so that's why we moved to a small village, and it's a lot cheaper as well. Another question was all the violence and crime in Thailand. Well, I don't know what papers you've been reading, but we've been here 6 years and we haven't found any of that at all. The village where we are at the moment, I don't think there's been a crime here for years, so you know, it's quite safe to walk about 3 o'clock in the morning. No one would disturb you. You'll probably get taken into a house for a drink, but apart from that, it's, I feel more safe here than I did back in England. Another question was, how much does it cost to live in Thailand? Well, it depends on the individual, but what we did was total up all the bills for a year and then divided it by 12, and the total comes to 15,000 on food, fuel for the bikes, cigarettes, beer, vegetables, wine, everything you could think of, washing powder, dog food. It comes out to 15,000. That includes drinking water, which we buy, I think it's about 5p for 20 litres. We don't drink the water here. Next on the list is electric. Well, we spend 3,500 a month. That is expensive because we've got 2 fridge freezers and 2 freezers, an air conditioning unit, and we also light up the yard at night. Water we use for washing and cooking, that's 100 baht a month, and TOT, the internet, is 750 baht, which we also supply the temple with internet as well. That gives you a figure of 19,350. You could halve that. We live quite well on that, but you can live on half of that. We also have a maid that comes in once a day for a couple of hours and pay her 5,000 a month, so that's a total of 24,350 baht. It depends if you can afford these things. We didn't rent a house, we bought a house, so we don't pay any rent at all. A foreigner can buy a house, but they can't buy the land, so we bought the house and we donated the money to buy the land and gave it to the temple. So the temple owns the land and we own the house, and it seems to be working all right for now. So that's the total figure, but again, it depends what you want in life. You can rent a house in our village for 1,000 baht a month. Kanchanaburi, I've seen a 2-bedroom house for 4,500 a month. If you go towards, the further you go towards towns, the price just jumps up to 20,000. So it depends on what budget you've got. So that's the budget we work on, and we live quite well on that. About 3 years ago, the bank where we live used to look like this. All overgrown. And now, through donations and people volunteering their work, this is what it looks like now. The river bends round to the right. There's a couple of elephant camps down there, and in the evenings, about 5 o'clock, you can actually hear the elephants in the distance. And there's also a couple of resorts that do rafting trips. A boat brings them up on a bamboo raft up to about here, then they unhook it and the raft just drifts back slowly. Very nice. And this is the other reason we've moved here, is because of this. Nice and quiet, apart from me talking. And there you have the famous River Kwai. And this is our little village square, about 2-minute walk. You have a restaurant, there's 4 little more restaurants next to it, a greengrocer's shop, a couple more restaurants, a few general stores, a motorbike mechanic, a further 2 restaurants, a general store, and we've got the Wang Pho railway station over the back. Surrounded by mountains. We have no bank as such. The nearest bank is in Soyok, which is about 20-minute drive away, but we have a mobile bank that comes once a week. We don't have a petrol station, that's about 10 miles away, but we have got a couple of these throughout the village to fill up, or you can buy it from most of the local shops in a glass bottle. The reason why we've got so many restaurants is because of this. One, we have Soyok Hospital. Anything major, you're transferred to the main hospital in Kanchanaburi, which is about an hour and a half away. Another reason why we have so many restaurants is we've got Soyok local government councils. They do all the blue books, yellow books, income tax and Thai ID cards, and right next to that we have the Soyok police station. The police station, the town hall and the police station, town hall and the hospital cover 11 villages, 8 sub-districts and the whole of Soyok, so there's quite a lot of people come to Wang Pho, so that's why there's a lot of restaurants. This is a fairly new building, the old one was knocked down. We're about a third of the way up the hill, and this is what the view is from here. About halfway up the hill there's a spot where there's wild monkeys. But I'm not going there today, they tend to jump on your back, so I should show you a little clip of it anyway.
Hey, good catch. Here you go, guys. Oh, here's one for you, Mama. Poor thing. Hi. Can't be that.
Right, we've just come over the River Kwai onto the other side, and now we're going to have another look at a viewpoint. I don't know how many steps there is, but we're going up and have a look anyway. So I'll see you in a bit. Well, we're about halfway and already we're puffed out.
Plum tuckered.
Well, we're nearly at the top.
You gotta believe to do this shit.
Jesus. Wow, this is what you get from right at the top.
Any more of that shit, you'll be a widower.
Whew, this is a view you can see. Right over the back there with the little red and white tower is where we live. As you can see, we're surrounded by mountains and who's that, dear?
There's Guanyin.
Ah, Guanyin.
Again. Female Buddha.
Female Buddha. Not many houses, as you can see in the distance. And back again. Oh man. And just as you come out out of our village, you cross the River Kwai, and this is the scenery you get from the far end. As you go round the bend to the left, it takes you right past where we live. And on the other side, no traffic. Again, as you go round the bend to the right, that takes you onto the Deaf Railway wooden viaduct.